Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a wrap-up video, and I don't normally do wrap-up videos because I don't normally read that many books in a month. I'm going to be honest, I'm a very slow reader. So I thought that I would do a wrap-up for the month of October because I read quite a few books. I read a total of 7 books and a graphic novel, so let's get started. The first book I read was Dying to Know You by Aidan Chambers. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and to hear more about my thoughts on this book, I will leave a link to a review I did on this book. The next book I read was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and oh my heck, I freaking love this book. I read this alongside Ariel Bissett, and we couldn't stop gushing about how amazing this book was. The characters are interesting, the story is fascinating, and it's just an overall exciting read. I would say that it takes a little bit of time to get used to the writing style and the story itself. I had tried reading this book back in July and just couldn't get into it because the writing style was so unique, I guess you could say. So if you're having a hard time reading this book, definitely power through it. Hold on tight because this story is so good, and I'm so excited for the rest of the series. I will definitely be doing a discussion video on this book soon because I loved it so much. Loved it. The next book I read was Pathfinder by Orson Scott Card. This is a fantasy novel with sci-fi elements, and it's about a boy named Riggs who has the ability to see the path of people's past. He is raised by his father, and when his father dies, he learns that his father has been keeping a lot of secrets from him, and he finds himself confused about his own path in life. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I gave it a 4 is because I felt like it was unnecessarily long. So that's my only problem with it, but I really enjoyed it. The next book I read was Insurgent by Veronica Roth. With all the talk on Twitter about Allegiant coming out, it got me really pumped for the series, and so I decided to pick up Insurgent and continue on with the Divergent trilogy. I really love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I know that there are a lot of mixed feelings about this book, but I felt like it was just a nice addition to the trilogy, and it made me really excited for Allegiant, which was the next book that I picked up, Allegiant by Veronica Roth. Again, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna do a video about the whole Divergent trilogy and kind of explain why I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, but just know that yes, there were a lot of emotions, and yes, there were a lot of feels, but I was very satisfied with the way that this story ended. The next book I picked up is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is a new dystopian trilogy about these kids basically with powers, and it is so cool and so interesting. I loved the sort of road trip element of this dystopian trilogy. I thought it was a unique spin on a dystopian. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it if you are a fan of dystopian. The next book I read was How to Write a Novel by Nathan Bransford. One of my favorite authors, Ransom, tweeted about this book last Tuesday, and so I impulse bought it and read it and really enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great book to read right before NaNoWriMo because it got me really pumped and really excited about NaNoWriMo, and it also really encouraged me and motivated me, so I was glad that I got the chance to read it. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars because there are some tips in here that I've already heard before. Speaking of Ransom Riggs, I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the graphic novel by Ransom Riggs and Cassandra Jean. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was really fun to see all my characters come to life in graphic novel form, and this really hits on all the key points that happen in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, so it is a nice refresher, and I really enjoyed it. I will say, though, that nothing compares to the book. So that's all I read in the month of October. You guys should let me know down below how many books you guys read, what was your favorite book you read this month, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Thanks for watching. Later!